Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to CTY Module College Ibadan, your state e-learning portal. It's another English studies class. Our topic for today is continuous writing, punctuation, revising commas. Continuous writing, punctuation, revising commas. This can be found on page 172 of your NUSEC JS2 textbook. We have learned how to insert the commas in sentences and their uses. We learned that we use the commas in these various ways. 1. To divide words in lists. When we have words that we have written in lists, we use the comma to divide these words. For example, mother bought oranges, mangoes, banana, and guava. Mother bought oranges, mangoes, banana, and guava. Mother bought oranges, comma, mangoes, comma, banana, and guava. Remember, we learned that the last word before and, there won't be any comma inserted after it. So the comma has been used to separate the list of words in this sentence. 2. We learned that we use the comma to divide group of words in lists. We use the comma to divide groups of words in lists. For example, the boy in green cap, the girl in red shirt, the man with yellow tie, and Mrs. Ojo visited the prisoners. The boy in green cap, the girl in red shirt, the man with yellow tie, and Mrs. Ojo visited the prisoners. That's without the insertion of comma. But when we insert comma, the sentence will be the boy in green cap, the girl in red shirt, the man with yellow tie, and Mrs. Ojo visited the prisoners. The boy in green cap, comma, is separated. This group of words is separated from the next group of words, the girl in red shirt, comma, the man with yellow tie, and Mrs. Ojo visited the prisoners. We also learned that the comma makes reading interesting. That is, you have to pause wherever there is a short pause, wherever there is a comma, so that the reading, what you're reading, will be very meaningful to you and whoever is listening to you read. We also learned, we have another example here. I took my key out of my bag, put it in the lock, opened the door, and went in. I took my key out of my bag, comma, put it in the lock, comma, opened the door, and went in. We also learned that we insert the comma between a subordinate clause and the main clause. We insert the comma between a subordinate clause and the main clause. When the subordinate clause begins a sentence, remember, the subordinate clause is the clause that depends on the main clause to give complete meaning. So whenever we begin any sentence with a subordinate clause, after the subordinate clause, we will insert the comma. For example, as the principal liked old carvings, he put some in the hall. As the principal liked old carvings, he put some in the hall. As the principal liked old carvings, comma, he put some in the hall. As the principal liked old carvings is a subordinate clause. So because it begins this sentence, there will be a comma after it. He put some in the hall, that's a main clause. As the principal liked old carvings, comma, he put some in the hall. Whenever you mend a fuse, turn the power off first. Whenever you mend a fuse, turn the power off first. Whenever you mend a fuse is a subordinate clause. Since it begins this sentence, there will be a comma inserted after it before the main clause. Whenever you mend a fuse, comma, turn the power off first. Whenever you mend a fuse, comma, turn the power off first. At the beginning of the lesson, we said we are revising commas and that we use the comma in these various ways. 1. To divide words in lists. Example, mother bought oranges, comma, mangoes, comma, banana and guava. That we also use the comma to divide groups of words in lists. The boy in green cap, the girl in red shirt, the man with yellow tie, and Mrs. Ojo visited the prisoners. These phrases are divided by comma in a sentence. The boy in green cap, the girl in red shirt, the man with yellow tie. So these phrases are divided with the insertion of comma. I took my key out of my bag, put it in the lock, opened the door, and went in. The groups of words are separated by inserting comma after each group of words. We also use the comma to divide a subordinate clause from the main clause, especially when the subordinate clause begins the sentence. For example, as the principal liked old carvings, he put some in the hall. As the principal liked old carvings, he put some in the hall. Whenever you mend a fuse, turn the power off first. This brings us to the end of the lesson. The assignment will be uploaded on the CTY Model College Ibadan Oyo State e-learning portal. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.